And today we're very privileged to get for inside us one special guest, the Honorable Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, the priest Father. Honorable Minister, good evening, sir.
Thank you. Say you call me, make I come. Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. So how is the water?
Well, thank God.
So many people won't hear you talk, so we'll go straight to the business. In the past, the implementation of budget now want to make it very difficult. Since they bring now board, when Mr. President come bring this, made this issue of a Minister of Budget and National Plan together, what is the new thing about the
Plenty new things they will for one, we thank God still God day on our side. And for the National Assembly, some changes there, people will believe in the party. And then on the other side, we get which they call teamwork. Me and my sister, the Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning, they work very closely together. We also get the budget office where they work closely together. So all of us, with the different ministers, all get the commitment of our guy, the president, because he tell us when he swears, he say, he want make that budget cycle change. That's not one of the things we they want to do for first time, where no fit happen. But at least before he come up for government, he want make we fit. So we thank God say we get a good National Assembly. We're ready to also work with us. So they do a lot of consultation, work ahead of time with them, so they understand what we want to do. You know, they also give us certain direction and advice. And by the special grace of God, the result we will get is say 2019, even though now August 21st, they swear us by December 17, Mr. President signed the first the budget for 2020. And even 2020, you know, when we also get that budget, as we started, one big sickness can't come. It can't change things. We can't rework the budget again. Around July, we still get them approved with the revised 2020 budget before we start to work the 2021. So now teamwork and the grace of God, you know, now help us where we fit.
Okay.
Achieve that goal for 2 consecutive years.
Now, we'll look at before now with the year of this Vision 2020. 2020 don't go. Now, we done the year Vision 2021 to 2025. We call the year of Vision 2025 to 2030. And with the year of Vision 2050, when the ordinary man for street hear all this kind of thing, it be like history.
Yeah.
What be all those things we now they talk about?
Okay. You know, when a man they want do things, he go get what they call plan. Say, what he want do for next year, what he want do 2 years after, what he want do 3 years after. So everything where you they plan for like 5 years, we they call a medium-term development plan. You know, so this time we say we want to do 2 medium-term development plan. Because the last medium-term development plan where we get, that they call Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. That plan is start 2017 and it end December 31st, 2020. And that plan, they put them in place when Nigeria be enter recession in 2015 to say to help us come out for that recession. By the time they put the plan in place, that EROGP, Nigeria get 5 quarters. That's every three months, every quarter. So 5 quarters of negative growth. I mean, we know our economy no move forward, they move back. And after that one, for 12 consecutive quarters, we begin to get positive growth. Until last year, when this big sickness, what they call COVID-19, come, we can't shut down the economy. You know, when we talk, say, recession, people need to understand what the recession means. You know, it means that for 2 quarters, you don't get positive growth. And what this growth we they talk so, they call it GDP, gross domestic product. What it mean that the total money we spend for the economy to either buy something or to provide service. So if that money they go up quarter by quarter, we go say positive growth day. If the money they come down, we go say negative growth day. If it come down for 2 consecutive quarters like that, we go say we dey for recession. But you know, say we be shut down the economy for a long time. And so people stay for house, market no open, everywhere. So that buying and selling no really take place. So the total money we they spend for the economy come for. That's why we say we dey for recession. Okay, now that one, that first plan, the ARGP, I end for December 31st. We they try to change to put another plan. And we call them medium-term national development plan, 2021 to 2025 for the first 5 years, and then 2026 to 2030 for the second year. The other one where they call Vision 2020. Now for you go, they call the perspective plan. That be the long-term plan. For some people, that long-term will be 20 years, for some 25, for 30. Say where we go want make the country be, where we go want make the country day, which country we go want see for the country in the next 30 years. So our own we call them Agenda 2050. Many agendas day, ECOWAS agenda day, AU agenda day. We get the one for UN that they call Sustainable Development Goal. So this one what would they put in place? The 2050. Our Oga president say, make sure say we look all the various agenda where they, make we see how we go fit bring all of them inside the 2050 agenda. So that's our long-term plan where we put in place. That be the difference between that one here, vision, and one here, agenda 2050.
But that inside that agenda 2050, so
Yeah.
how many of na they do am? Which kind of people na put inside to ensure say, because for instance, if na only una fit sabi everything wey dey inside.
You see, what they do, they different from what they do before. Our own, we say we want to make sure say we get Nigeria National Development Plan. And what do you make of Nigeria? Nigeria, they made up of the states, 36 states, Federal Capital Territory. Nigeria, they made up of local government, 774 local governments. So this plan, where will they do? All the 774 local government get hand inside through the association of our government, sending people. The governors, that's all the states, the Nigerian Governors Forum choose 6 governors to join. You understand? One from each geopolitical zone. We also tell them, say, because all the plan what would they do for Nigeria, they don't get place where they call one place they call Nigeria where they go for implementer. Now for state and local government. So we say every state, they give us 2 of their very good people who understand economic planning from their state, so that they go join to do the plan. But you see, not the only government did for Nigeria. We get what they call the private sector. In fact, for Nigerian economy, about 90% of what they go on are from the private sector. So we say, okay, this plan, the private sector will be a lead co-chair, and then government will also join as another lead co-chair. So we get 2 chairmen. At Edo Peterside, they represent the private sector. Zainab Ahmed, Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning, they represent government as co-chair. The budget and planning arm of the ministry now will be the host to facilitate everything where they go on. We also say this plan not be for only APC because na APC they government. Nigerians, they belong to different political parties. So we say since na Nigerians will be planned for, at least the three main political parties where the National Assembly, we go get them involved. So the national chairman of APC, national chairman of PDP, national chairman of ABGA, they all be members of the steering committee. Steering committee now be the biggest part of all the group. We also get what they call central working group. And then we get what they call technical working group. Now that they work, they do, where all these experts they, university professors, businessmen, Nigerian Farmers Association, SMIDEN, you know, all of them, women society, disabled, they all there for them. So for those 26 different groups, at least each group get about 30 people. So if you multiply 30 by 26, you know how many you go get. Okay? The central working group too, so is also big, but the central working group, and then they collect all the material where the technical working group don't do, put them together to be one document. When they look at, they'll carry and go to Presidential Economic Advisory Committee, say, this now waiting, these people don't do, waiting on a think. Now if you say that they follow the right path, maybe we take them back to them, maybe they add more, or maybe they remove. When they're dissatisfied, they go bring and come the steering committee. For that steering committee, head of the Christian Association of Nigeria, there for them. Head of the Muslim group will be Sultan of Sokoto, there for them. The youth group, they there for them. The president for the women council, they there for them. So now those are like Oyibo will say what they call the different diversity way they, because now different type of people. But Nigeria.
But the problem when most Nigerians get this kind of very beautiful plan, and the first time when we say we hear it.
Yeah.
But the implementation, how it go be?
Yeah, we go come to implementation.
Okay.
You understand? Because the way they talk now, if we don't bring everybody, come when I say we know if we carry the whole 200 million Nigerians put for there. But people will represent these 200 million Nigerians, the different set of people. That then we bring together to do the plan, to look at, to make sure, say, as SDG goal talks, say no one must be left behind. Even for that steering committee, person they present the disabled. Now, professor, but he blind. They talk well for meeting, just to make sure, say, we carry every person along. As I talk for that documentary where we make, if you follow build house, maybe you go know where bedroom they, you go know where kitchen they. You know, go begin to ask questions. So now the thing what would they do with that? So all the states they involved, the local government they involved, farmers association they involved, manufacturers association they involved. So they know the plan. So that to implement them, you can't do very easy. You understand? So you know every time Nigerians we know they talk of plan. That's also budget. But the way Oyibo they take the one, you go first do your plan. Then when you don't do your plan, you can't do your budget based on the plan where you don't make. That's why some people they call a rolling plan. And you see that budget thing we would send go house. We could do like for 3 years MTEF, which would they call medium term expenditure framework. How we feel say go be in the next 3 years. No, which we feel say oil price go be. Which we feel say customs go collect for the duty. Which we feel say FRS will collect for corporate taxes. You know, include your personal income tax, because that know they come to federal for federal budget. And you know Nigerians they don't know difference for government. When you say government, only federal, now they think. But where government they near people pass, now be for state and local government. That's why we also want to make the state participate, so that we all go towards one direction when we all agree. Then once we don't do that budget from the plan, we get with what they call monitoring and evaluation. You know, one of my own focal points, say, I want to strengthen that department.
Monitoring and evaluation.
The National Monitoring and Evaluation Department for the ministry, so that anything where a budget, you know how they talk about when they earmark, we want to make sure that the people go they help us to the earmark. Because you go here, I hear one time some people say they build one world-class bridge for somewhere for South,
yes,
for water side. And when people go there, go look, missing a wooden bridge, and the money where they say they take done is plenty. So that's why this time around, when we don't finish with this plan, we already don't start the process of that, what they call them iMac web app that they develop right now. So that we will put the budget inside. It will show where the projects go there. Me and you, common Nigerians, will fit download them for our phone. So if we talk, say, we they do Benin Agbo Road, you feel go there, take picture. Say no road there for here. You understand? You take the picture, the thing will come to us. So we for budget and planning, not the way they implement budget. Our own are to look money where they come and where it go, what will be priority as a day for plan, and shared money for different ministry, department, and agencies. Those MDAs, now then they implement. So we need Nigerians to help us, because when you see the projects we there for budget, they're plenty well. If we say we want waka around, we no go fit. So with this iMac, what will they do now? Every Nigerian they give us information. What will take go to the ministry, say, when I talk, say, when I do road, they say, na forest there for there. And this one, what will they do now? Will they use what they call Grid 3 platform? It's now, you call it geospatial technology. I be say, it will show you latitude, it will show you longitude. I know once you know latitude and longitude for the world, you know exactly where the place is. So that why you know go there. You know, go my village, go take picture of one small house. You say this is a 5-star hospital or 10-star hospital. We say they built for Oromi. The thing will show say you lie. So we want to make integrity there for the system and make Nigerians they monitor their project. That's now one of the things that Mr. President want to fight corruption, because President no fit there everywhere. You know they see everywhere. It no be witch or wizard we go know what they do. For a road for here or farm for one place. So that's why we want big Nigerians help us for that monitoring and evaluation.
Then, maybe we go back to this budget when they talk. Some people don't send message, they come.
Yeah.
Nigerians, Simic, we ask you, this since you now come on board, you know, so with the year of this issue of budget padding.
Yeah.
How it be now?
Okay, that's why I say now with the work up front with the legislators, we get understanding. We they tell them this now the vision of government. This now what the plan talk. This now the area we want to go. Some of them for National Assembly say, okay, but we want to take care of our area. We know Siam. So this one that they talk them up front now. But what thing they happen before, we say after you don't give, they'll begin they go load put. Another one, how do they call padding? I will tell you, say that one don't reduce drastically because of the way we they take work together with them.
Okay, maybe we'll look at the states in this country. You know, many states get different natural resources. Yeah. And one of the thing we say they say make una do now the coordination of states and yes and economic relations and management. How can I say they manage all of those? Because we hear say some states they get natural resources, the federal government give like Zamfara now, you give the license, maybe they operate. Meanwhile, other states when we say get those countries, they're there for federal.
Another one I lie. Now social media fake news. Which license they give to Zamfara? Now private companies. You understand? And even for the South, or the oil producers, if the states come together, form a company, they will apply for a license to operate. Nobody don't stop any state. You understand? If individuals from the state, government will give their license to operate, why they not go give state license to operate? State fit invest with private people. Nobody don't stop any person. So those are just fake news where they fly around to create confusion. You know, the plenty things where they go on, they say, they always focus on the things where divide us. We know they see the things where they unite us. And if we know focus on those things where they unite us, we will continue to get a problem for our country.
One of the things when we see so many young people they talk about, we say, in this country, we get governors, when we see they always they run go Abuja. Run go Abuja, go collect money, go collect money. That thing, how can we stop it?
So now citizens go stop them. You understand?
How do they stop it?
Now, first, citizens need to know say a federation where they run. You understand? You get local government, you get state government. But any little thing happen, everybody, when they say government are federal, now they call federal and central. You understand? They need to hold their local government chairman responsible. They need to hold their state governors responsible. They need to know what is the budget of the states. They need to know what is the budget of local government. If local government talk say they do 8 roads, they need to go check. Because some of the things where they hear, because most of the local government just they collect the money, they write, say they don't do 10 roads. Because no be asphalt road, you no go see anything. When you come 2 months after, say, we hear so now do 8 road. We want to say, so rain fall, you don't wash the thing away. You understand? So now the people need to hold their governors and their chairmen responsible. The tax whether they pay, individuals, they pay, not be to federal government. Now company income tax or limited liability, now they go to federal government, so not be all tax. They reach federal. You understand? Road no good for your village. You say the president no good, you no do road. What if federal really supposed to they do now those interstate routes to link states together, but those inside the state local government, that now for which they could be subnational. You understand? For state and local government. Yes, nothing they wrong if the governors also come look for some extras. You understand? From federal. Sometimes when you say they come to federal, they get development partners where they engage with, we want support. So some states will come say, I want to run this kind of program. Now, if it help us, you understand? But if now additional to do more work, it they good. But whether they collect and they know they do, this not be military regime where president will call governor say, "Alash, I change you." You understand? Now responsibility of the people where they live for the state, and responsibility of the people where they live for their local government to hold their chairmen responsible.
Honorable Minister, how you want to react now? Because so many Nigerians already ask questions. How you going to react to this issue of a poor budget implementation? Because the fast with the BO see budget implementation about 40%.
That's not correct. You understand? Okay. Not for the 2019 budget, not even for 2020 budget with COVID.
So what will be the truth?
What is the truth? Now that's why I tell you the way we will take go. That's why we start early budgeting system.
Yes.
To make sure say it be January to what's it called December. Yeah. 12 months. And in 2020, one of the things where we do now to ensure say we know they release money like before to all MDAs at the same time. Because some MDAs are dry season that they feel work, infrastructure group like works, rail, that's transport, water resources. You understand? Whereas agric, when rain don't they come, at that time they need money. So we say no, they will just release money for MDAs to go put for bank. As our last year, we released 1.7 trillion as capital expenditure. So if you look the fact, say, even the budget itself, about 60% or more now recurrent expenditure will be mostly salaries and whatever. And that one we pay them 100%. budget, even from that angle alone, implementation at 40%. It already passed 50%. And for the very first time in 2020, we released 80% of all the budgetary allocation to the MDAs. The only thing that happened last year because of the COVID and the shutdown, the procurement process is slower. And that's why we write back to National Assembly, say, MDA still gets almost 1 point something trillion where they never spend, what we don't release. So it will not be the question of money issue, but because of the slow procurement process, we go on because of the shutdown. That's why we write to them to say, extend this implementation period to the end of March so that we will run both of the budgets, both the 2020 and the 2021. Because budget na law, and we don't want to flout the law. And that's they open, we write to National Assembly. So that one, no, if it they happen in the past, but it's not, they happen right now.
What about debt profile, both internal and external? Don't increase.
Why? Okay, make I tell you, a country, it be like a human being. Right now, to pay salaries alone, the personnel cost about 4.6 trillion.
For a year.
For a year. And waiting, we will get back based on oil price and production. Now about 5.7 trillion. Already, we get debt we don't do since. We pay those debts. And to service those debts, about 2.4 trillion. So the very first thing where you go do as a sovereign nation, now to make sure say you take care of your debt first. So if you take 2.4 and you add up to 4.6, where you take pay salary, how much be that? I ask you to not only you go ask me. That one would already be about 6 trillion.
Yes.
Meanwhile, now 5.7. Now you go get.
Yes.
So, and this 4 don't include National Assembly or Judiciary, because those are the statutory thing they be. As according to Constitution, you must give them based on percentages. What's it called? Niger Delta Development Commission, Northeast Development, all those now laws. Primary health care, all those now by 1% of this, after you remove them, you put them. You already need to borrow. You understand? And nature no they allow for vacuum. So if we decide, say, we not go pay salaries as our states they do, that 4 point, some say make we owe 1 year salary. Then we begin take and work. That way, if we do like that, we know we need to take a loan. So as an individual, your pikin need to go school. Your pikin need to chop. And now 1 naira you get for pocket. You need 10 naira to take care of. What do you go do?
You go borrow. I go borrow now.
So the thing is, say when you dey borrow, you go need to look at your sustainability, your ability to pay back those loans, and you go also look at the conditions where they associated with the borrowing, like some of the World Bank loans and the IMF facilities where we take. Now at 1.5%. If you go any of these banks for Nigeria, now you feel get for that? You feel borrow money for that amount?
No,
so the money